Yeah, baby. That's what we do. Every day. Good. Come on, man. You know, Metroflex brand has become famous internationally in fitness bodybuilding circle, and I'm just glad I could be a part of that. You know, Ronnie Coleman put Metroflex on the map, and then myself and this man to my left here, we just furthered that tradition and took it across the world with our style of training and our hardcore intense bodybuilding. So I think when you hear Metroflex, you know, everybody knows it's hardcore bodybuilding.
So Ardmore, Oklahoma, and Metroflex there in Ardmore. I'm excited to go. Love that place. Love the extra area they made outside. You want a belt? Maybe this? I like it. I love the color scheme. First time I came here, you know, of course, stood out to me was the color scheme. You know, love the black and green. Army green, baby.
What'd y'all think of Micah?
Oh, really nice guy. Definitely gonna, you know, take the baton and run with it. You know, the Metroflex baton. So proud of that. You know, and proud to be here at his gym and be a part of, you know, the Metroflex family. You perfect. I was totally new to the scene. I'm from New Jersey, so totally new to the scene, and you know, heard about Metroflex like everybody else. Never had been there, but Branch, the one that brought me out there for the first time to check it out. And to be honest, it wasn't the greatest experience of my life because you know I'm really I was in the military, so you can imagine how neat I am, and I walked in there and it disturbed my whole world. You know, seeing the chaos and everything like that, you know, I was like, I can't do this. Like, I'm super neat. I can't explain it to you how super neat I am. And I'm telling you, it really destroyed me. And it took a lot to work out there, but it took Branch Warren, actually. And I have so much respect for him. You know, I would have by myself turned around and walked out. But I stayed in there and worked out with him. And man, it caught fire. You know, I caught the bug. You know, I went to my the gym I used to work out, you know, after that, and it wasn't never the same. You know, I could not. I was like, I got to get out of here. I got to go back. You know, I just caught the fever. I'm telling you guys, once you get into one of these gyms, man, and work out and catch that feeling, it's like nothing else. And you definitely want to come back and, you know, make it a part of your repertoire of working out.
Bang, digga, digga. What y'all doing, just a selfie workout or what?
The new guys up and coming, man. You know, some of these guys have got to come into their own now. You know, every generation takes a sport they inherited from the ones that came before them. You know, we, speaking for myself, I learned from the guys in the 90s, and that's how I learned, and I did it my way. You know, and my generation kind of, we learned from them, and we took the sport in the direction we wanted to take it in collectively. And, you know, the guys that are up here now, these young guys up and coming, you know, I don't know if they learned from us, though. I think just the first generation that maybe didn't learn from the previous generation, I think they probably learned more from social media than they learned from us. Obviously, they knew who we are, and, you know, they give us respect, but I don't know if they really, how much they learned from the previous generation. You know, from me and Johnnie and Phil and Kai and Dexter and all of us, I don't know how much they learned from them, as they kind of just learned from social media and done it, taking the sport in the direction they want to take it in. Every generation, the physiques look different. You know, the guys in the 80s look different than the guys in the 70s. The guys in the 90s look different than the 80s, and we look different from the guys in the 90s and so forth. So every generation does it a little bit different, but you know, I think the difference is, like I said, this generation didn't necessarily learn from us.
Nice. There you go. Like I said in the beginning, you know, is the age of sometimes there's too much information, and people take that as I don't need to listen to the older guy because I can figure it out myself and go from there.
I'm gonna give you a perfect example of that, what he just said. I'm gonna elaborate on that. When I was young, I was probably 18 years old in Metroflex training, and I was blessed. I got to train with Ronnie Coleman. It's got Mark Hanlon, who's his workout partner, and we're doing this exercise I didn't like. I thought it was stupid, and I made something. I asked, like, why are we doing this stupid exercise? Mark turned around, he goes, shut the fuck up, don't ask no questions, and do what we do. I listened to him, and it worked. So and that's a valuable lesson in that is like these guys were older. They were the Ronnie. Everybody knows who Ronnie is. How he turned out. Mark was actually bigger and stronger than Ronnie. He doesn't have the genetics Ronnie had. And don't ask questions sometimes. You got 2 ears and 1 mouth. That means you should listen twice as much as you speak. My granddaddy told me that, and he was right. It's that time of year again, guys. Olympia's around the corner, coming up in October. We got a lot of the guys sitting here training on the team, that are getting ready to get qualified to make it to the first Olympia. Stu he's dieting down, getting ready to jump on stage, looking for that Olympic qualification. Jordan Hutchinson, man, looking really good. Got a sneak peek of him. He's probably 10 pounds heavier than he was last year, and best condition I've seen him in this far out. So I know he's super hungry, want to get that Olympic qualification and get on stage in Vegas. And always got the predictions. Who's he going to be? We got Derek beat Sampson, and Derek, I think, was in the best shape of his life at the Arnold, and he proved when he's the best in the world. Then you got Nick Walker, resurgent, probably looked his best ever, this year.
Absolutely.
Looked great. You got Hadi, who last year probably pound for pound was the best one on stage. He just got out muscled by Sampson. And then of course, you got these young cats like Martin, up and coming.
Absolutely.
Got up in the top 4. And I know he's hungry, training his balls off to, stay up and move up from that 4th place and do even better. Like Brett Wilkin, same thing. He's up and coming, looking great. Saw him here recently, man. He's looking better than ever. And you got guys like, who am I missing here?
Brandon.
Yep, Brandon. And so you never know. And usually every year there's somebody that surprises you. Last year was Martin. He came out of nowhere, made the top 4. So every year we always have a dark horse that shows up and gets in there usually. So finally, we've got a lot of depth at the Olympia after years of not having a lot of depth. And I think it's going to be an exciting show.
Yep. Yeah, guys, real excited. We talked about it earlier, and from time to time we circle back and talk about it again. I mean, it's really, really, really exciting, especially seeing Sampson win the Olympia, which we know he had that potential to do. And I mean, it was really surprising because the twist in it from leaving Milos, the training with his wife, you thought, oh no, what's he doing? And what he was doing was, planning to win the Mr. Olympia, which he did. So that was awesome in his own self. And then, Derek coming back at the Arnold and bringing a look that just was fabulous. My goodness. I mean, we talked about it earlier, the best we ever seen Derek ever. And man, hands down, he deserved the win. So it's going to be really interesting to see if that Derek shows up at the Olympia, what's going to happen there. But you still have to question a little bit and think, he's done several shows after the Arnold, and really hadn't rested that massive physique. And could he get enough rest between now and the time for prep for the Olympia to come in that crispier, if I can say crispier, if that's a word, and what I mean is tighter and more conditioned than he was at the Arnold, because he's going to need that at the Olympia. The Arnold is what it is, but the Olympia, you got to come in a bit better. And he's taxied himself out a little bit. I say that, I don't know, but just on the outside looking in, you got to just wonder that a little bit. But as long as he's not worried about it, then he'll be good. And we'll see what happens. And now you got Nick Walker, plug him into it, and Nick is looking awesome. Like you said, Heidi wasn't there, and it's going to be interesting to see, what package he brings this year as well. Because, I mean, we all know from head to toe this guy has it, and he can win it anytime he steps on stage. It's the fact that, what the judges want. So I hate to be one of them, to be honest, but man, what a great, top end lineup. And we mentioned Martin. It's going to be very exciting. I'm ready to see it. I'm ready for the showdown, the get down, the throwdown. So hopefully you are too.
I think the biggest question mark is, in my mind, is Derek. You know, he did Olympia, he did the Arnold, he did Pittsburgh. Now he's going right to Olympia. So basically, he's going to be going nonstop for a full year. You know, can his body hold out, and can he peak and look like he did at the Arnold, you know, in October? That's the big question. Only I think he knows it, and you know, and he probably don't know the answer to it until we gets to Vegas. You know, that's the only thing. It's been a long year of hard training, and you know, he's held it together so far for these first couple of shows this year. But like I said, it'll be almost a full year of nonstop, you know, preparation. So everybody has a limit, you know. So whether maybe he ain't reached his limit yet, maybe he'll come up and look better than he did at the Arnold. You know, maybe he'll be off. I don't know. That'll be to me, that's the big question. If he looks like he did at Columbus, he wins. You know, if not, then it's who knows?
Yep, that was one of my things that we talked about as well. Is like, you know, maybe the first show I may be slightly off, or you know, off, but the second, third show, because I was famous for doing multiple shows. By that second, third show, it was like I was going to win, you know, no doubt. So here we go.